Okay, hello everyone. Also hello on Twitch for all the people that are currently on Twitch logged in. This is going to be a class about planetary production and how to make ISK of planetary production in a bunch of different ways. There are a few ways to make it efficient, there are a few ways to make it easy, and there is also a few ways to make it really lazy but make less ISK of it. However, there is going to be some way to make ISK out of if you're an Omega char. For the people that are in the comms right now, make sure you jump onto Twitch as well so you can see what I'm doing, because there's going to be a lot of just clickerino around. Twitch.tv/huntingfighter. Just watch in there if you want to see what I'm doing, because that will make stuff way easier for you. Okay.
Could you link the Twitch and Fleet chat?
Yeah, I can. Give me a second.
Yep, Dark just did.
Yeah, there we go. Thanks, Star. Okay, so to start things out, there's a few ways to make PI, or planetary production, how it's called today. First of all, what you're gonna need is you need an Omega char for this. There is no way around it, because the skills for planetary production are locked behind the Omega level. So if we look at this, currently on singularity on this one, so whatever, you see this char is currently not plexed. Give me a second. Because otherwise I can't show the stuff. It looks like it's not plexed on CC. Let's just do it this way, and this way, and this way. There we go. Well prepared as always. Okay, so if it sometime shows back up, it's not just a black screen. Please, if do me the favor. Oh well. Okay. No. What the? Okay, I'll just relock that. So the skills for planetary production are all Omega locked, which means you can't skill them without being Omega. Also, you cannot export your stuff to a customer's office or to the orbit without being Omega, which basically also disables the PI the moment you are going out of Omega. So if it's already set up, you can't just say, hey, I can keep running this. No, you can't, because you can't export stuff. There we go. So how are we doing this now? First of all, we need to decide on what we are doing, on what we want to do. There's a few ways to make ISK out of PI. The easiest and less risky way, and the least risky way, is extracting from planets and building up with that. So to come with the skills again, there's planet management, and there you see command center upgrades, Omega locked, interplanetary consolidation, Omega locked, and remote sensing and planetology are also Omega locked. What you want for basic skills is you want command center upgrades 4, you want interplanetary consolidation 4, 5 is really not worth it, you can just do another chair for that. Remote sensing 3 if you're doing, or in general remote sensing 3 will do. If you're doing extraction, you want planetology higher than this. Planetology 2 is pretty poor. Having higher planetology allows you to get better scans of the hotspots and stuff on the planets. I'll explain about what that means in a bit. So we're now here, and let's say we decided we want to do P0 to P2. So we want to extract stuff from the planet. We want to put stuff into the into our production and get the planetary material 2, so tier 2 material out. So for to do that, we have to decide what we want to do first. And for this, there's a bunch of tools. So there we go. First of all, we have this little tool here. This allows us to see what kind of T2 materials we are making from what. So for example, if we want to do test cultures, it shows us we need water and we need bacteria, which means we need aqueous liquids and we need microorganisms. Therefore, we see microorganisms can be gotten from barren, ice, oceanic, and temperate. Aqueous liquids can be obtained from temperate, storm, organic, oceanic, ice, or barren. Generally speaking, barren plants are pretty bad for most extraction materials. There are materials you can extract from barrens, but most of them are really not worth it. So that's the first thing. With that, we can decide on what we want to do. However, we want to keep in mind that we want to sell the stuff. Therefore, in Horde, we have Testament. Testament is, let's say, a PI mogul, kind of. He's trading PI for basically all Horde and all PanFam right now. And yeah, he's doing he's doing a shade, and he's doing all the buybacks and so on. And here we can see what is needed. So for example, bacteria is a high need of producers. Biocells, there's a high need of producers. Biopaste, for example, there is none. Like, there's no real point in starting a biopaste in Horde. So you could go for example, electrolytes or fertilizer or data chips or something like this. All of these that are marked as high, or I think there are no overwhelming ones right now. No, there are no overwhelming ones right now. But all the stuff that is marked as high for needed, he will always be happy about getting more people to produce that, and he's 90% of the time going to buy it. Generally speaking, Testament is buying it at 97% Jita split, which is a pretty good price because you don't have to hold it to Jita, you just have to sell it locally, and he's gonna pay you the ISK you deserve for it. So let's say we have decided on doing bacteria. So bacteria, for bacteria, we are hopping back here. Say we want to do second. Oh wait, bacteria is P1. Sorry. We want to do P2. So for example, livestock is P2. Let's say we want to do livestock. Livestock is here. So for livestock, we need biofuels and proteins. We can obtain that from barren, oceanic, temperate, and can obtain complex organisms from oceanic and temperate. Which means to do that, we need a system where both a barren and a oceanic and a temperate planet are. So to start this out, we have this one. For example, we currently have the R10 constellation sorted with all the Pokos we need. So let's say we want to do in RQO. Let's see what we can do in RQO. In RQO, there's 2 temperate planets, a barren planet, 4 gas planets, 2 lava planets. By the way, I'll put all these links into Fleet or whatever in a bit. And also there is a link collection, and I'll link that to you later. Where is my there? Nera, you can start it 14 days on your last day of Omega, and then Plex it 14 days again. However, the longer the cycles are, the more inefficient they get. I'll talk about that later. So, for example, we have 2 temperate planets in RKO, so if we were just doing livestock, we would be fine with doing that in RKO. So, now we have this little site, eve-pi.com, which allows us to plan out our stuff. For this, we don't necessarily have to do this because we kind of know what we want to do, but I want to show it as well. I wanted to show it as well. Just if you want to start theory crafting, whatever, you can do it. So first of all, we're gonna need biofuels. So first planet's gonna produce biofuels. Therefore, I'm just gonna call it biofuels. There we go, biofuels. We want 8. We want 8 factories. We want command center leveled up to 4, which requires command center upgrades 4. We want 1 extractor head, extracting carbon compounds, because that's the input material for biofuels. Actually, if I just show it here, all this orange here can be, is the stuff you need to import. If you're putting in carbon compounds here, you can do it that way. Then you want 10 extractor heads. 10 is the maximum of extractor heads you can put into one planet, so that's fine. Just put it to 10. You want to set the tax rate to 10%, because for extraction planets the tax rate is 10%. Actually, in this case, we want to use the temp rate, so we can put it to 2%. We want 1 launch pad and 1 storage center. So, having this, we don't want to use the command center for storage, because the storage of that thing is pretty small. We want to export and import using the launchpad, which means we want to use the customs office. Partial utilization, we don't want to do that, because that basically means just doing %. So planet is active every, for example, 2 cycles, which means it's going to be up like half the time, and so on. So that's the first one. That's the biofuels. Then we want another one. This one is going to produce, what do we need as well? We need proteins. So now we want to make proteins. That stuff is going to need complex organisms. Let's just change the name of this to proteins. There we go. So that's the first 2 planets we want. These are 2 temperate planets. Temperate is, yeah. With this being done, we need, let me just make sure I got this right. Yeah, okay. So, with this being done, this is the first way of actually doing that. I'm gonna show another way to do this. With this being done, we can now create another planet, which is going to create the livestock. So, having livestock, we want an advanced factory creating livestock. There we go. I'm actually not one. Yeah, we can do, for example, we could do 8. This is just a pure factory planet. This would mean we would not really use this planet to its limits. So even if we put it to that, we could put like a lot of factories on here, you know. So we're not gonna do this. This is the first, like I said, this is the first way to do it. This is the way to do it if you have a lot of planets this way. Now, what can we do else? We can do, for example, let me say we can do this. We go down to 2 extractors, sorry, 2 factories like that. We add another basic factory. We go down to, what was the other one? The other one was, I think proteins it was, right? Yeah, the other one was proteins. Put that to 2 as well. Now we have an extractor extracting complex organism with only 5 heads. And we want another extractor extracting carbon compounds with 5 heads. So what we need now is we need 2 advanced factories creating our livestock. There we go. Need 2 of these. So now we hit a problem. We need command center upgrades 5 for this. This is the 2 problems with it. We can either go the first way and do a lot of planets, and do more hauling, or we can train command center upgrades to 5. Obviously, this one is going to be way less logistics. Sorry, that was my fault. This one is going to be way more chill for doing logistics. On the other hand, this one is going to be a lot more training time. So, you have to decide on what you want to do with this. Like I said, you can do command center. You can do it with command center upgrades 5. That's the problem. There are ways to do this with command center upgrades 4, I believe, but you have to be very careful about the length of the links. Then you have to put them very, very close together. You have to use as few links as possible. It works. Let me just show this. So what we're gonna do now, we're gonna grab a temporary command center, because this is what you're gonna need for it. You're gonna need a command center. So we get one temporary command center. I'm gonna grab this. And we're gonna put this into our avatar here. Oh, we actually can't. Let me get an iter on real quick, because the command centers are pretty damn big. They're like 1k cubic meters. So let me do it this way. And undock. So we're just gonna do the single planet version here. I might need 2 tries to make it actually that small, but we'll try. The version with multiple planets, like I said, you need more planets for this. This is possible, this is a way, but if you're really lazy, I would recommend it. Because with the way you can do it here, you can literally go to the planet like once every, how many days, I don't know, but once every few days, and don't have to do a lot of stuff. So now we want to go to the planet. We're gonna take the planet, we're gonna right click it and say view planetary production. Now we see the planet here. First of all, we want to scan it for the stuff we need. So we need, give me a second, I'm pretty sure we need complex organisms and carbon compound. So first of all, we're gonna see where the carbon compounds are. Okay, and we're now gonna see where the complex organisms are. They are pretty rare compared to the compounds, so let's do it this way. With this scan strength here, we are basically determining what is the maximum that is going to be scanned and what is the minimum that is going to be scanned. So play around with this a bit if you want. That's the way. So we have a hotspot here, like a red spot here for complex organisms. We got a hotspot or a red spot up here for carbon compounds. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put our colony like in between these two here. So I'm gonna drop the command center. You can drop the command center anywhere where you want. Oh, I already have the planets on this. Give me a second. I'm gonna just delete the planet here. Oh. There we go. Just decommission the planet. Now we can go to the temporary planet again. And say view planetary production. So I gotta find this hotspot again. Where was it? Was it over here? No, complex organisms. Yeah, it was here. Yeah, that was it. So we're gonna drop the command center somewhere because we don't care where we drop it. We're gonna put it up to level 4. So we're gonna say upgrade, level 4, upgrade. Now I gotta check if I have enough ISK. No, I obviously don't. Let me take some ISK from a corp wallet and then it's fine. There we go. So you are gonna need a bit of ISK. There's like 4 million for upgrading the command center for now. We're gonna do this. And now we have a lot more ways to do something here. So we have the command center. what we want to get first is we want to get our storage facility. Storage facility, we're gonna place it down here. I'm going to go a bit deeper in so we can place them as close together as possible. Next of all, we want a launch pad. Put the launch pad right next to the storage facility. There we go, hopefully. Yeah, there we go. Now we need 2 extractor heads for basic facilities. The basic facilities we're gonna put like this, or however you want. Just make sure they're as close as possible to the other stuff. There we go, and put these down here. 1, 2. There we go. Now we need a bunch of extractor heads because our extractor control units, because we want to extract stuff from the planet. So we're gonna put them here. 1, 2, because we don't want to extract 2 different materials. And then we need 2 advanced industry facilities. These are gonna produce livestock in the end. So we got 1 and 2. And now I hope that I put them close enough together for the links. To create a link, we're gonna control click and then click to the next one. Once we did that once, we can just click, 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 click. Just click a lot around here, and we got all the links set up. So now you see we have a lot of power grid and CPU left. You actually don't see because I just put it away. There we go. So we have 33% CPU, 67% power grid right now. The one thing we didn't do yet is we didn't create any extractor heads right now. So we're gonna do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 extractor heads on this. And we're gonna create another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 extractor heads on this. And there we go. It worked out, I think. Yeah, we're at 1699.1, so we have 9 power grid left, but it's enough. That's the thing, you have to be very, very considerate about where you put your where you put your stuff. It has to be very close. So this first extractor control unit is going to extract complex organisms. No, that's the wrong one. It's going to extract carbon compounds. It's going to reach up to here. I'm going to set the time, the program duration to like, let's say we're going super lazy. We say we go 2 days. The higher we set this, the bigger the... Oh, that's the bottom one. Okay, I'm gonna actually go with complex organisms on this. The higher we set this, the bigger the radius is gonna get, and the lower the average outcome is gonna become. So we're gonna place them something like this, down here. Keep in mind that if you're running the programs multiple times in a row, the hotspots are going to deflate a bit. So you have to move the extractor heads around a bit, and on this area it's probably going to recover by the time you reach the end of the area. So now we're gonna say start extraction here. We're gonna take the second one. We're gonna put this to complex organisms this time. We're gonna put this to 2 days as well, because we are lazy. Actually, by the way, you only have to do the setup part 1 time, and after that you just have to start the programs again and pick the stuff up. So up here we have even more materials. We're gonna just put them like this and start extraction of this as well. So what's going to happen to the resources now? Currently, nothing. What we have to do now is we are gonna click the extractor control unit. We go into the roots. We're going to products. We're going to click the products and create route. Put it to the storage facility. Why to the storage facility, not directly to the industry facilities? Because this way we can build up a buffer. Everything that is going to the industry facilities and is left over that doesn't have to be used in the industry facilities is going to get voided. Which means you want to route them into a storage, and from there you can move them to there. So we are now gonna set up the industry facilities. This is, for example, going to be proteins here. The proteins are going to be pumped into the storage facility as well. Same goes for this one. This is going to create proteins. By the way, the moment you set the output, you can just double click the destination, and it's going to route it there. And we are gonna create, what's that other one? Was it? Here we go again. Was biofuels. So we're gonna create biofuels here, route it to the storage facility, and create biofuels here as well, route it to the storage facility as well. So now we got this. Now we have to set up the advanced facilities. They are gonna create livestock. So we're gonna double click livestock, route it there. Double click livestock, route it there. Actually, this was wrong. We're gonna delete the route here again and go to products, livestock, and route directly to the launchpad. Same goes for this. I actually fucked it up here. So go to products again, create a route, route it to the launchpad. Give me a second, I'm actually just gonna grab the chat again, so if anyone has questions, feel free to ask them. I'll hope that I will answer. Well, now we know we have the extractors, they're moving stuff in here, we have the facilities, they're moving stuff in here, but there's still stuff missing. So we have to move the stuff from the storage facility into the industry facilities. Both ways here. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna click here, we're gonna create a route for complex organisms, because complex organisms are the stuff that is needed in these two. We're gonna create a route, we double click the destination. Incoming, create a route, double click destination. Same again here. Now carbon compounds, we're gonna do this with the other one. There we go. And another carbon compounds, go there. Now we have the biofuels incoming and we have the proteins incoming. The livestock is transiting because it's going into the launchpad. So proteins, we're gonna create a route, lead them here. Again, proteins, create a route, lead them here. Where's the other stuff? Biofuels, create route, lead it there. Biofuels, create route, lead it there. Here we go. So now we're gonna submit. And if we now check the extraction control units, it says time remaining 1 day 23 hours, current cycle 8 seconds from 30 minutes. So once the 30-minute cycle is over, it's going to move stuff into the storage facility. The storage facility is going to move stuff into these into these facilities. These industry facilities are going to start producing stuff. Once the second cycle then finishes, everything is going to get moved back into the storage facility, and it's going to start actually running the chain. Once these things are completed producing the proteins, these are going to the livestock, these are going to be moved into the command center, from where you can now access the command center. I'll leave this right now just by clicking escape. So we can go here and right click the planet, say access customs office. This is the customs office of the planet. If there was something in here, I can select the launchpad, which is only one right now, and I can now see, or I could see, if there were any materials in the launchpad right now, or in the launchpad right now. So if there were, you can just drag and drop them over here and say transfer. It was cost you a disk because there is a transfer fee. There's a tax, Poco tax, which is going to be paid to the corporation owning the Pocos. And if you're in HiSec, there's also going to be a additional tax, which is an NPC tax. But yeah. So, any questions so far about this variant? No questions so far? Okay. So, this is the first way. Basically what you're going to do now, once the stuff fills up, you are going to, let me a second, let me just stock up. You're going to grab your apothol, which is this one, which is actually currently unfit. Usually I would recommend going with something like go here. epithel fitting here? I don't. Okay. Basically, you can kind of do what you want. Just what I would usually do is fit a cloak, fit an MWD, fit like walker steps and lows, and that's like maybe 2 walker steps, 2 initial steps, or something, and that's it. Kind of there's like there's no many alternatives because you can't really fight back anyway. If you're getting tackled on the Poco, you're just going to open up the Poco, drop everything in the Poco you can, and well, eat it, whatever. And in the because in the Poco your stuff is safe unless the Poco is destroyed. There is no asset safety in Poco, so make sure if Pocos are going into reinforced, you snatch all the stuff from the Poco before it gets destroyed. So now let's say our cycle would have ended. We are going to the Poco. You're just gonna right click the planet, customs office, swap to customs office. Alternatively, you can go to planetary production, which is under industry, and then planetary production. You can just link it in your hotbar if you want. And there you see I have a colony, an MTech OEE8, which is currently active. And I can go to customs office and then go warp to. You can just warp to the customs office at 0, that's fine. Once you land there, yes, epithels are slow. Before the question comes, why use an epithel? Because an epithel has a specialized planetary commodities hold, which allows you to put stuff into your hangar there. I just hope these throwers aren't gonna insta-kill me. There we go. We have the we have the customs office here. We can access the customs office, drag and drop stuff. We can drag and drop stuff from the customs office into our cargo hold, or from the cargo hold into the customs office, whatever we want, and so on. So we can basically use it like another inventory. Like I said, if you're about to get killed, or on the customs office, just open up the customs office, go to your hangar, just Control A, drag and drop everything over you can, and just die, because epithel is worth like what, a million ISK or something. It's definitely worth more losing the epithel than losing all this stuff in your cargo hold. No, we're going back to the Keepstar. So this is the first way to do it. This is lazy P0 to P2. In this case, you actually have to pay a visit to your PI like once every 2 or 3 days. Actually, if you press information, you can go to attributes, I think. Yeah, there you see the tax rate, which is 5% right now. It's not too bad. 5% is pretty fine. This is for extraction. You're going P0 to P2. This is actually a pretty chill way to do it because you don't have to do that much work. Once I dock this chart up again, I'm going to grab another command set, which is going to be a barren one. There's another one of making ISK through PI. Yeah, that's a way of doing it. That's one way of doing the epithel, right? That is one way you can do. Thanks, Nero. So once you're going deeper into PI and you want to like make a bit more active PI but make more risk of it, there is a way which is called P2 to P4. So what this means is you're going to buy planetary material of tier 2 and you're going to sell the tier 4 variants. This, to be warned, requires a certain amount of ISK. For example, or in general, running 3 chars with 5 planets each, so 15 planets, has an investment ISK of around about 10 billion ISK a week, which you have to have liquid to work with it. You can do this on a smaller scale. It's gonna make less money, but it's gonna make some money. However, you have to be very careful about margins because obviously P0 to P2 is no real risk. If some of the stuff crashes, you don't care. You will sure care because you're like, hey, I just didn't make any ISK, but on the other hand, you're not going to lose any ISK from it. On the P2 to P4, obviously, as with all other industry, you are going to lose ISK with it if you don't pay attention to your margins and so on. So that's a bit more tricky. However, in general, I'm going to show you how it works. So, taking up our little PI planner again here, we're going to create a new one, and we're going to say we want to add a planet. Let's say we want to just do one. We are going to need one high-tech factory because that's the P4 factory. Let's say we want to do nanofactory. Nanofactory is one of the three materials, which is nanofactory, organic mortar applicators, and I think sterile conduits it is, that is created out of a, like, second. No, it's not sterile conduits, the other one. It's, oh, it actually is. It's sterile conduits, nanofactory, and and organic mortar applicators that are created from 2 P3s and 1 P1, sorry. So this means, there we go. For example, we want to do nanofactory. What we can squeeze in here is we're gonna squeeze in here 4 nanofactory planets. We're gonna say expand. We're gonna remove the basic facility because we don't need that one. Then we need 1 storage, 2 launch pads. So you see, this is pretty tight and fitting, but it works. We're going to set the tax rate to 2% because 2% is the standard tax rate for factory planets in Horde. There you see we have input materials. We are going to put all this stuff in here to create 4 nanofactory. This is going to cost you a bunch of ISK, and therefore you have to keep an eye on your margins. So with this in mind, we can now set up our planet accordingly. So how do we do this? We are going to reactions are a different way. Reactions aren't better, reactions are a different way. Like, there's a lot of ways to make money, and reactions are one way, PI is another way. We can discuss this forever, but reactions are just a different way. Where's my... There we go. So, now let me grab a Baron Command Center and my Iteron again, because Apethel has not the big enough cargo hold to actually hold a command center. So let's grab this one. There we go. So we're gonna undock, because one thing you have to keep in mind, you can do basically everything from the tether of the office structure. However, to access a customs office and to set up a new planet, you have to be undocked in the same system. You can do a lot from the tether. The only thing you actually have to warp to the planet for is picking up and dropping off materials. But yeah, I'm gonna decommission this as well. There we go. Submit. So for factory planets, there's two types of planets you can use for factory planets. One of them is barren, the other one is temperate. For this example, our temperate planet is already used, so we can't use this again. So we're going to use the barren planet. Let's check the details of the planet. We want a planet that is as small as possible. There's a planet with a radius 3000. This one has 4600. And this one has 2300, so we're going to use planet 2. Usually, if you're doing all in the same system, you don't really have the choice. However, if you have the choice, take the smallest planets, because it's easier and quicker to set them up, because you don't have to worry about, you know, putting stuff as close as possible together, because it works another way anyway. So we're going to drop another command center, put it to command center upgrades 4, upgrade that stuff, and submit this. So now we got the basic colony set up. We now need a storage facility. Up here, we need 2 launch pads, which I'm going to explain later, for inputs and outputs, which is 1, 2. Now we need a lot of advanced facilities, because that's all the P3 materials. We need 16 in total. 3, 4. Put another 4 down here. And then we need another 8 on the left side here. 2. I know this doesn't look good, but whatever, I don't care. 3. Come on. 3, 4. Another 4 down here. Yeah, I just fucked this up, so whatever. Let's decommission this one again. As long as you didn't submit anything, you can decommission everything without having to pay anything for it. However, the moment you submitted stuff, the stuff you submitted is going to be paid, and from that point you're going to lose this actually deleting something again. So now we need to create a bunch of high-tech plants, namely 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, there we go. And now we're gonna link all these. We're gonna link them like this. I'll link them down to the bottom. Then we're gonna link these through the chain. I just fucked the link up here. So you see, there's one link that's basically going through here. We don't want that. We want the link here to go and delete the link, and then we can go create a new link. There we go. I'm gonna do it like this, like this. I personally like to do a cross link here to make it to chill this link a bit, because otherwise you might overload the link, which means you need I need to upgrade the link, and that costs another CPU or whatever. So this one we can just submit. There we see. This is what we have now. This is our basic setup. So what we want to do now, for example, we said we want to do nanofactory. So we're gonna set a nanofactory here. Gonna route it to the top of them. We're gonna say nanofactory here, gonna route it to the bottom of these. Nanofactory here, route it to the top launchpad. Nanofactory here, route it to the bottom launchpad. Doesn't matter which ones you're routing to which one. However, make sure you're routing 2 to every of the launchpads, because that way you have a better input-output scale, so you don't run out of space and lose this by voiding materials here. So we're gonna need Ukami superconductors and industrial explosives for this. So you're gonna set all these to industrial explosive, all the 8 of these. Just put in an I. There we go. Industrial explosives. Route them to the. Did I route them now? Yeah, I did route them. Route them to the storage facility. Do the same with these. I'm not gonna do this with all now because it just takes long. It's just tedious. Basically, I'm gonna do this with the bottom row as well. We'll put these to Ukami superconductors. Route them to the storage facility as well. Go this and go to this. So from the storage facility, you can now click the storage facility to the routes. You're gonna go to there. You're gonna create a route there. Going here, create another route here, and so on. You're gonna just create routes to all the high-tech facilities for both materials. So nanofactories incoming. So we need the industrial explosives, I think. No, the industrial explosives we already did. So we need the Ukamis left. Create a route for the Ukamis. Create another route for the Ukamis. And basically do this with all of them. This is going to link them to all these stuff. So now we got, I think, just double check the routes here. There's 2 routes incoming here for Ukami, so we did 1 too many. Gonna delete this route again. Take another Ukami route, create it to the top one. Oh, come on. Create. There we go. So now these are sorted. Now we only need the reactive metals left. What I'm gonna do now is I'm actually going to, before I do anything, I'm gonna submit this. I'm going to dock up and get the materials real quick. I need for a cycle of these, or just for a bit, to show you what we do now. So we're gonna need a bit of fertilizer. This is just for 2 cycles, so for 2 hours, so that's not too much. But I'm just gonna grab a bit here because I don't want to go full retard on just CC because, you know, I don't care. I should probably grab a bit more anyway though. So this is all the input materials you see on the sheet that we worked on before. So if you just look at here, there is hourly 80. So you're gonna do the hourly 80 here. We're gonna need hourly 160 reactive metals. So we're gonna keep doing this. We're gonna take the superconductors as well. Do it like this. And then we're gonna need reactive metals like this. Yes, there we go. So as we are usually going with an epithel, I'm going with an epithel now as well to show you guys. You're gonna put all of this stuff not into the cargo hold, but into the planetary combinatory hold. There we go. There we go. Oh. There we go. I can tell you right now, splitting the stacks for doing P2 to P4 can be pretty tedious, but it's worth it. So, now, once we are docked, we are going to warp to the planet. I don't know which planet I used, so I'm just going to go here and see there's a barren planet, planet 2, customs office, warp to 0. And then we'll see how this works. Any questions so far while we are just warping around here? Looks like no questions. So there we go. We're gonna access the customs office. We're gonna take all these and put them there. Once we did this, we can basically just go to structure, citadel, and hop back to the keepstar, or whatever structures we're using for. Yeah. So the first one is a bit more annoying, but after that it's going to go more chill. For the first time, we're going to put half of the materials each in these. Later, that's why we're doing half now, we can just put all of them, all of one type into one of the launch pads, and we don't have to care about which launch pad we're doing with what. We're just going to put all these here. We're going to take this launch pad, we're going to put all this stuff over here, transfer off this. I'm just going to tether up on the keepstar here. So now we have transferred everything to both launch pads. We're going to go here, we're going to go customs office, sorry, not customs office, but view planetary production, or can just double click it as well, that works too. Now we see both of these have a bit stuff in there. What we're gonna do now is we're gonna create route, and we're gonna go to storage, and we are gonna create routes for all these materials. So on the left side we need fertilizer and polystextiles. So I'm going to route all the fertilizer, create a route there, like this, create another route, and do it like this. Once I did this, I'm going to do this the same on the bottom launch pad as well. Obviously would do this with the bottom ones as well if they were set up, but I'm not going to do that now because it takes too long. You're going to do this on the bottom launch pad as well, because at that point you can just at a later point you can just put any material in any of the launch pads, and it's going to pull them from both launch pads, which removes the necessity to keep track of which launch pad you're using for what. So we're creating the polytextile links now. You see, the moment the stuff is completely set up, they're going to turn yellow from red, which makes it easier to see what we already did and what not. Here we can go to storage and go polytextiles as well. Do this, do this, do this, and do this. So now we have a bit more stuff in here. We have the reactive metals. We're going to create a route up here. We're gonna create another route. Oh wait. We're gonna create another route up here. So now we will always have to put reactive metals into both of the launch pads and not just into one. So we can just do two from each one. So we're going to do this. We're going to do this. There we go. Now we only have to fill the right part. So we need superconductors and synthetic oil for that. We just go that. Superconductor, create route, go there. Or we can also just double click them, go there, and double click them, go there. And we're going to do the same with synthetic oil. Yes, this is a pretty damn boring work to start with, but at some point it's going to work out and it's going to make you a lot of ISK. There we go, and there we go. So we're doing the same on this one. Superconductors there, superconductors there, superconductors there, and there, and the same with synthetic oil. On the first 2 or 3 runs, or actually in the first run, you have to monitor the stuff a bit because sometimes you just misclick and miss something, and then it's annoying if you lose out on stuff or whatever. But yeah. So now once we once we press submit here, everything's going to start running. The stuff is going to go into production here. It says 1 hour for the next cycle to complete. Once the cycle is completed, all the stuff is going to move to the launch to the storage facility. The storage facility is going to move the stuff into the high-tech facilities where it's going to be made into Nanofactory, which is going to be dropped off in these 2 customs offices, where you can then access the customs office and drag and drop it back into the Horde customs office and pick it up with the epithel. So that's the part for the second way of doing that. Any questions so far? No questions. Yes, there is a Plantery production buyback. It's run by Testament81. He's basically buying 90% of the stuff. I obviously can't promise that he's buying a specific thing, but most of the stuff he's buying a 97% GDA split. Also, if you're buying or selling PI or PP, make sure to join the industry seeding channel on Horde Square, in Horde Discord, so you can see the want to buys and want to sells for Plantery production stuff. Any other questions? Okay, so there's the third way, which is going P0 to P3 in the same system. I personally haven't done it yet, so I can't really tell how much work it actually is. However, it does work. So this however only works on with a few materials. For example, you can do this. How do I state this easiest? How do I say this the easiest so everyone will understand? Give me just a moment to figure out how I say it and how I explain it. So yeah, basically you're going to need the P0 to P1 setup I had. I showed you earlier, which means you want to have one planet with 8 materials that are. Give me a second. I'm just going to with 8 facilities. Just going to show you again. So we want a PI planner. We're gonna remove this. Let's say we want to create robotics, for example. Robotics requires consumer electronics and mechanical parts, so both of these can be built easily. So what we're going to do first is we're going to create the P1 to P3 planet, which is going to be this one. We're going to add a advanced facility, which is going to create robotics. Where the fuck are they? There we go. And we're going to expand this. I think we can do 4 if I remember correctly. Yeah, there we go. We want 2 launch pads again, a storage facility obviously as a intermediate saver. So there we go. This is the stuff we need. So basically this thing follows the same philosophy as the P2 to P4 stuff did, just using P1 instead of P2 materials. The idea is the same, the setup is pretty much the same as well. The only thing we have now is we have more planets. So we have one planet, or we have multiple planets that work this way. We have 4 planets that work with this way. For creating robotics, we are going to need any combination that covers these four materials in one system. So we're gonna need like one planet which is either ice, lava, or plasma. We're gonna need one for either plasma or barren, one for either lava and lava or plasma, I think. Yeah, lava, plasma, and one that creates base metals, which is like half of them. One thing that works good for this is a system with like 3 lava planets and a ice planet or something, or plasma planet, something like that. Those work pretty good because the some of the stuff some of the stuff is more on lava, some of the stuff is more on plasmas, and so on. That's a thing you can figure out basically by looking at the planets though, because it's different from one planet to the other. So we're gonna just say we want to make the share structures here. So we're gonna create a basic facility with share structures with 8 of these, and we need non-CS crystals for this, which are going to get 90% from lava planets. We got a storage facility and a launch pad, and that's pretty much it. That's the setup of the facility planets, of the extraction planets. That's the setup of your production planet. Doing this, you need 4 of these with the 4 different materials you have here, which is reactive metals, toxic metals, precious metals, and shard structures. Having all these 4, you can just grab all the P1 from these, put the right amounts into this. This one's going to create your robotics. I'm not going to go fully through this. I'm going to show you the setup for the P0 to P1, which looks like this, I think. Yeah, it looks like this. So we have the extractor control unit with all the extractor heads there. You have 8 basic facilities. You got a storage facility where you're gonna route all the stuff from the extractor control unit to, and you got the the launch pad, where you're gonna get all the stuff from the industry facilities too. Any questions to this, or do I have to explain it even further? It is a class, yeah, Darth. If you want to see the whole class, you can look it up under the videos tab once the class is finished. This is going to be available after the class is finished. Any questions about it? Okay, so that's pretty much it about the industry, about the planetary production. Keep in mind, planetary production always changes, so you have to adjust a bit with the type you're doing. Also, keep in mind that setting up a lot of these planets can be very, very tedious. It can be so annoying. It's so much work. It depends on your planet. The question was how many days should we extract the material. It depends on your planet. I usually do like 2 or 3 days because on that rate you can do it in a pretty chill way without overworking yourself. Especially with doing P0 to P2 on a single planet. This enables you to basically do that AFK, log in like twice a week on that char and just reset the extractor heads and move a bit stuff. Yeah, you can reset every day. That works as well. You're going to get better results from it. It's going to be more work anyway. Any other questions? Oh, there was a question about the website. The website is named eve-pi.com. If you mean the planning website, which is a pretty great website. I'm going to link it in Twitch and in Fleet as well. So this is going to be this is the website you can use for planning your stuff. This is the website you can use for getting an overview about everything, and then you have this this website, which is there for finding out which planets you have in the system and how you can spread the planets effectively. These are the 3 important websites about doing PI, in my opinion. There are a few others, but yeah. Is there better to have more facilities or extractors? You know how to you have to know how to balance it, because if you have too many facilities and too few extractors, it's not going to help you, because this means you're not going to have enough materials to actually put into the facilities. And on the other hand, if you have too many extractors and not enough facilities, you're not going to be able to produce to go through the production with all the materials you have. You're going to run out of space in the command center at some point. In the storage facility at some point, and it's not going to help you too much. Does that answer your question? And for how I know the best balance, to be fair, it's just heuristics. It's just trying it out over and over again with different mixtures until I finally found the best balance, which is, in my opinion, having 10 extractor heads for 8 facilities. The advantage of the other one with 5 extractor heads per material and just 2 facilities each is you're never going to run out of input materials. You can put like a long way. Until production ends. So you can probably even do like 4 days or something, and it will still put out enough materials to actually have that run the 4 days. Okay. Any other questions? Okay. So if there are no more questions, I'm going to conclude this class. Thanks everyone for coming. There will be more classes the next weeks. The next weeks probably will be more focused about doing some other stuff like exploration, and maybe I'm actually considering doing like an exploration class, doing a basic PvP class as well, which is going to cover the basics of solo and small game PvP. That one is going to be a bit longer though. However, for now I'm going to focus on doing classes about how you're actually starting out and making some ISK, because before that you can't really do PvP. Thanks for coming, everyone. To the stream. Thanks for tuning in. I'm going to complete the class here. It's going to be finished in a few minutes. Actually, it's going to be finished now. For the people that joined in late, the class will be available in videos. I'm going to post this on YouTube as well, so just look around if you see it here. No problem for the tutorial. There will be more, so stay tuned. See you guys around, and thanks for coming.